Hello, beautiful people.
I'm Bryn.
I am Miranda.
And welcome back to the Esty Besties podcast.
Welcome to episode 7. Today is going to be a really good episode featuring our really good friend and client, Meghan Quinn. Today is called Our Naked Truth Inside the Beauty Industry. Gonna get a little spicy today, okay? Meghan is an amazing entrepreneur, salon owner, beauty guru, social media influencer, and just an overall badass in this industry. And we're going to get into some deep topics today that have to do with the beauty industry, working in her salon, and yeah.
So much more.
So much more.
Let's bring Meghan in and get it started.
Whoop, whoop.
Okay, so here we have Miss Meghan Quinn. Let's start with our little cheers.
Yay, cheers to an awesome morning.
Cheers. Now we're going to have Meghan give you guys a little intro about herself just so you can get to know her and see what she's all about.
Nice. Thanks, guys.
Of course.
For having me. I really appreciate it. Well, I've been in the industry now for 19 years. I came in when I was like 18 years old. I was actually in school for nursing. And I really kind of was like not sure what I wanted to do and was like, oh, this is, you know, I'll pick this career path. It'll health benefits, all the above. Like it was just what
made sense.
Right. And I got a job as a shampoo tech at like a local salon around here, Town and Country. It's no longer RIP, gone. It was like 42 years in the business. It was
seriously.
awesome. Yeah,
I remember Town and Country. My grandmother went there.
It was such a great place. I loved working there. A couple of my staff members, they're from there too, so they all had the same experience. But anyway, I started working there, but I was kicked out of high school. I was kicked out my senior year of high school, so I had actually graduated early. So I'd started college early.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, I got to get a job too. You know, everybody else is in school. And I was like, just go like find a salon or something. So I got a job at Town and Country and I started working there. And I just loved it. I loved it. I
found your passion.
I found it. And the owner at the time was like, you're not a nurse, you're a hairdresser.
Yeah.
I said, well, if I drop out, my parents they're not gonna take care of school. They're just, and I was just like, I can't afford it. And he was like, I don't know why you care. You're gonna make that back.
You're gonna be fine.
Right. I was just like, okay, here we go. And that was it. And I jumped in and it was like take off from there. And there was so much up and down from there. I went through a real rough patch of life. It was like a couple year span where, you know, sometimes you got to go down to get back up.
100%.
Absolutely.
And I went down for a while. And this industry, honestly, is really, truly, and it's not like all that cliche bullshit, but it really did save my life. I was at the pits where I wasn't gonna make a comeback. And I had a boss at the time that gave me an opportunity, but he was like, I need you to come through. Like, I need you to come through and, you know, so
show
I gave
up for yourself.
And show up. And I did. And I gave him the best 15 years that I could during that time period. I brought him 7 Best of Delawares. We had one. It was Salon by Dominic.
So I was going to say, Salon by Dominic the OG.
At the time. And I absolutely loved working for Dom. He was the best boss I have ever had in my entire life. He really set the path and showed us all how to do things the right way. But, you know, I was there. We did 7 Best of Delawares at that salon. I brought 7 Best of Delawares as a stylist. And then COVID hit and the opportunity came. And it was just time to take the plunge. And, you know, everybody was taking the plunge.
During COVID, seriously, it was like the beauty industry just boomed and people grew from it.
It did boom. Enormously. And it's so interesting because it's so unlike many other industries during the pandemic. Like, it's crazy. We were just talking about that with someone the other day. They were asking, how did you survive the pandemic? I was like, honestly, we doubled our revenue in the pandemic.
It's wild how well some people did versus, you know, others who didn't. And I think it's just all how you viewed it at the time.
Absolutely.
It was your perspective. And, you know, if you're going to be negative, you're not going to make it. If you're going to be positive. And I will say that Dominic put everything that he had. He revamped that salon. He opened up another storefront. He did 3 storefronts, brought us all back. But it was just like, the environment's beautiful. You have everything you need.
He set the space.
But anyway, I love my shop. It's been open for 3 years. I'm a single mom. I have 2 daughters. They're both 10. I live up in Chadds Ford, PA, so
Okay,
life is very
cute.
chill.
Yeah.
Very,
Local
very
Luv.
chill.
So
Local
tell
Luv.
them,
Love
where is it
Local Luv.
located?
Local Love's located in downtown Hookas, and we're right in between the fire hall and the Wawa. So we're right on the corner. We're inside the Radiance Center.
Yep.
There's Radiance Dance Studios with us and a couple mortgage centers, this big gray building. It used to be the lighting store in downtown Hookas.
Yes, yeah.
So,
Prime location.
Prime location, November 9th, 2020.
2020. I was just about to ask, what was the date? Okay, love it.
Yep. So
Love
it was cool. It was cool. It was a hell of an experience. So.
Yeah. What was like the initial struggle of launching that business, going onto your own? What was like the first initial wow?
I think where it all started was like, well, I was working out of the house, and at the time I was working out of my house, going through a divorce, bringing clients in 7 days a week, trying to figure out what and where I was going to go from here. And I just didn't know like how I would do this. And I knew I can't have these people come all the way down to this house. Like, cause I was living all the way down in Bear at the time. So it was way too far.
Yeah.
Like, okay, what do I do? And one of my clients had come to me and said, hey, we have this space. It's available. You want to come and look at it? And I thought to myself,
There's the opportunity.
Yeah, there's the opportunity. But at the same time, I thought, okay, I'm going through the divorce. I got these girls. I'm trying to pay my bills. I'm trying to do all these
balancing
things.
a million
How am I going to
things.
do all this? And where's the money going to come from? And you start thinking all the things. And just go look at the space. Just go look at the space. So I went and looked at the space, and it was perfect. It's exactly what I was. It was like 1,000 square foot. I didn't want a lot because at the time it was just me.
Okay,
There was nobody with me. I did not take anyone. Well, no, I ended up having to come with me later on down the road, but at first there was nobody. There was nobody, nothing, no real. I don't want to say no plan, but it was like it was just a.
You just kind of jumped
It's
head
like
in.
Jumped head in.
I can never describe it when people ask me like, how did you do it? How did you have the courage to do it? I'm like, you just do it.
just
Like
did
you
it.
just
Do it.
feel it. Just feels right. I don't know if it's our intuition or what, but
It's
just
100%
you just
intuition.
feel like I'm like I just
option.
know.
Like, what's the next move here? So that space was perfect, and I just dove right in. I started saving every penny. I worked 7 days a week. I just kept grinding and grinding and grinding, and it was good at the time because there's so much stuff going on at home that I was like,
It was a distraction.
what else could I do?
Yeah.
What else could I do?
Other than make money? Like,
Other
let's
than
just go make money.
Let's go make money.
And it's kind of
totally.
crazy how an opportunity like that arises during one of your down periods
It's
in life.
Yeah, a lot
It's
of the times
wild.
it does.
Yeah, that's how
Absolutely
the universe
wild.
works.
That's the
In
silver
crazy
lining.
ways.
Yeah.
You just have to kind of find it and go with it. So I did. I just went with it, and we just grinded. I grinded we closed in March. From March to November 9th of 2020 when I opened. I just did not stop for 7 days a week. And over that time, everything evolved.
Yeah.
Like you got the space, and then, then you figure out the name, and then you figure out, what do we want as far as a theme, and what is our business model, and what are we going to be, and how are we going to brand it differently than everybody else. And my biggest thing was service work, because that's what essentially, when I was down and out and not doing good in my life, service work is what kind of saved my ass. And I thought to myself, I want to get really involved in the community. I love to be connected to people in my industry. I've never been good with enemies or competition. I'm very competitive, but it's always against myself.
100%.
It's never
And that's what
against
sets you
another
apart.
human, because I'm different than you. I'm different than you. I mean, we're going to compete against each
can
other,
do the
but
same things.
I will rip myself apart trying to compare. So it's just better if I just focus on myself. And with that, it just kind of transformed. And then, Jamal had come along, and his stylist had left, and they had went to a booth. So they didn't know. They were like, look, we got to go do our thing. And he's like, well, where do I go? And he came to me, and he was like, coming with you.
I'm
with
on
you.
my way. I like it here.
And I
It's
was
comfy
just like,
here.
okay, here we go.
Love it.
It was
And
meant to
great.
be.
He sat on my couch for months and months and months and months, and took my computer and my credit card and bought shit and did everything. He helped me decorate. He picked everything out. He was a huge part of it.
So he was a huge part of
He was
it.
a huge part of
Oh,
that.
I love that.
Well, I worked and did hair and made money and saved it. He spent it. So it
Wow.
was perfect. It was
It made
great.
sense.
It was great, but he ended up doing really well because all my clients came. 90% of my clients followed. I did not lose a lot.
That's awesome.
Yeah, people are really loyal to their people. Like
they really are.
Once they have that connection with you, it's like
on.
Yeah.
They'll follow.
Yeah, totally.
So you know, here we are standing 3 years
there
later.
You go. So
Manifested.
that's what made Local Luv what it is today. So what do you feel like is your biggest struggle today as a salon owner?
I think it's just always making sure that your brand is where it needs to be every single day at the top, like contributing to that every single day. Because I have a list that I keep in my phone, and I don't know if any of you guys are like this, but I'm a big like list person.
Oh, girl.
Like the notes are filled with every list you can think of.
Yeah.
And every day I have a list, and it's how do I contribute to myself? How do I contribute to my business? How do I contribute to my children, to my spirituality, you know, to my bank account, to those, like, they're all different topics. And it's like my business usually is the first one I hit. It should be yourself. It really should be in the grand scheme of things.
But your business is your baby.
But right now it's my baby.
And yourself is depending on your business, honestly,
So,
like completely.
You know, I tap into that every day, but I do look around and see what's around me, and you have to stay at the top of your game. You need to be on it. You
gotta be on it
every single day.
I think like even there's like 1 or 2 days I'll have where I'm like, I have a lot going. Maybe I have a ton of clients. I'm forgetting to type things in my notes, whatever. If I don't write it down, it's gone.
It's gone.
It's out.
Gone.
It's done. It's never coming back.
It's because we're the queens of multitasking.
Exactly. We got too much going on.
Yeah.
So even like the littlest things we're typing in our notes because we're like, we're going to forget it.
All the
Ideas.
time,
Like if you're talking to a client, you have an idea about like a product. You're like, oh, let me write that down. You got to do it.
Forgetful. So thank you for the fucking notes.
Maybe
God.
maybe it's just like hand in hand with beauty
It's gotta
industry.
be.
We're just like, we got
the
so much going
artistic
on.
brain, it's just all over the place.
Honestly, yeah.
So that is probably my biggest struggle, is just staying up. Always staying up, always staying up.
Yeah,
But-
it's hard.
Yeah.
But you're doing it.
You're doing it.
You're doing an amazing job.
Yeah.
I talked to Miranda a little bit about like the dynamic. I know you were before you had employment-based pay structure.
Yep.
Now you're, I don't know, have you already transitioned or
We've
are you working on it?
So we've transitioned into like a booth rental type of situation, but it's a little bit different than a lot of other booth rental type situations.
It's not like the one where you come in and it's like your whole separate. It's like you're still a cohesive.
It's very much a cohesive. It's very, we have a family. There's still ongoing education that's offered. I still provide a lot for them. And it kind of offsets for when you walk into just an empty space, you know, where here you go, you're on your own, now figure it out. They give you a couple amenities and call it a day and do the work with you. I like what I'm offering. It sets apart from everyone else because it's good for the stylist who really wants to do booth rental, but may not have the financial means in the beginning to do so.
Do everything.
Because everything is there and available for them. So it's like, you know, or maybe it's for my moms who just don't have the time to run around all over the place and get supplies and go.
Yeah, everything's in one place.
in that shop right now if you
That's
need
perfect.
it. You can buy it from me if you need it. There's some things I don't offer, but for the most part, I do.
There's totally an outlet. I think what you're doing is perfect for your business. Like it's perfect. I think it'll go so smooth.
I can't say enough about it because when I made the switch, I did it because I saw the independence in my stylist.
Right.
I
Everybody was an individual.
Everyone's an individual. And branding is a big thing right now. And that's what hairdressers are doing. A lot of them are branding themselves. They are that generation. And I don't want to like stifle that for them. And I have a model that I like to follow. I have a system that I keep in place. But I also like my people to want to be who they are. And as artists, it's hard to control artists to a certain level. And I'm like, okay, these guys have so much to offer the world. Okay, I'm not going to stop them from that. If they want to create their own schedules or create their own pricing, that creates value in your stylist. It gives them the freedom to kind of be entrepreneurs. You're giving them an opportunity to make their own choices and grow on their own. I will guide you if I think you're stinking and you gotta step your fucking game up.
You'll still be the mentor.
I'm going to tell
Exactly.
you. Yes. And if they ask, they know I'm going to tell them the truth. But to see them, they have all I can't even say enough.
You've seen a big.
Oh my God.
With certain types of people, sometimes they have to have that like independence to have that like hunger, because a lot of the times I think in any commission based, like sometimes people get like kind of cocky. Like they're like, oh, like my books are filled, whatever. Like for some people that will time out for them, and that's not going to be okay. Like for some people that's fine forever, because they're like, I know what the 50% is going to, whatever, X, Y, Z, but it just depends on your personality type. And if you found that in your people that they wanted that independence and they wanted to run they wanted to feel the energy of running their own business, like that's great.
It's awesome. And there is a cap off when it comes to commissions, like you said.
Yeah.
But I see in both ends. Now I will say, just for a little insight, in the future,
yeah, of course,
I will offer both. But I also do have they also have the opportunity, say I have a stylist that's doing this and maybe it's getting to a place where they are struggling.
Right.
If they choose to want to go back to that, that is an opportunity. But with that, there comes some, if they go back to that, then there's a training program and everything they need to go through. So that way, we don't go back and make these same mistakes.
Yeah,
again.
exactly.
We want to get you back to where you need to be. But again, it's an option. But the second, my next location,
yes, fingers crossed,
we will be doing both for sure. So
amazing. So you give them the opportunity to choose.
Yep. Yeah. But right now we're small enough to where this works.
Yeah.
And it's cool.
I love it. I love the
It's
dynamic.
really cool.
I love to see the dynamic of your new structure, because you're giving them leadership.
Yeah.
You're giving them continuous opportunities, but it's their choice to make those decisions.
It is.
It's up to them how much they want to grow, how much money they want to make,
And you really get them thinking outside the box more than anything, because
it's not functioning fully for them.
No,
like
you gotta really think like, oh, okay, I don't have a shampoo girl right now. How am I going to make enough money that maybe I want to hire someone to do that for me? Or I need an assistant. How am I going to get to that place to where I can hire an assistant and have, or maybe I need another chair. You have to really think, how am I going to get here? But at the same time, you need to make sure you're still maintaining your actual business, and you're not getting too far off the beaten path.
Yeah,
so it's a lot. It's good.
And then as an employee, you almost can get comfortable as well with being like, my boss or my manager is going to do that for me. Like, you're like, you might resent them for not being fully booked. You might be like, oh, why are my books not being filled, boss? You know what I mean? Whereas in that situation, it's like,
it's all up to you.
Can't blame anyone but yourself,
right, exactly.
So it does create a different environment.
So it's so funny. This topic is super a hot topic. I just had a conversation with the salon owner in St. Petersburg, Florida, and he is been in business for over 40 years. He's got 90 hairdressers, and he's a fully commission-based salon. He's super successful, did very well through COVID and everything. And we were talking about the difference between booth rental and commission-based salons. And, I will say, though, on the flip side of booth rental, where you do lose that comfort of having the extra amenities. And it also, the commission-based salon creates a little bit more of a team-based environment because you have to. Yeah. You have to. And you have a lot more heads to bounce. You're learning from so many different people. I will say that something in a booth rental is a little bit more difficult to have. But my situation's great because we work in a salon together. So it's not really a booth where you're individualized.
Like that.
You're all together. You're still
You're
a
all
family.
still together. You can still work with each other. You can still do all that stuff. We were talking about that because I'm like, yeah, you're right. You do lose that team type of a little bit because it's so individualized.
Yes.
At the end of the day. And you have to think about, too, when you want to take vacations or this and that. When you ain't there, you ain't making money.
Yeah.
Commission-based salon, it's a little bit different depending on the pay scale and when you're being paid. There's always like, if you get paid by week, you get that 2-week paycheck. You go. Every day, though, you're not working as a booth when you're not making money. Yeah. So there's a lot of give and take. But for them, it's going to be whatever works for that stylist.
That's exactly it. There's not like, I don't feel any type of way about one over the other. I'm like, it's whatever works for you. Like commission art, we want that team, but it works perfectly for us.
Definitely. It does.
Booth rentals, I don't think would work as well for us, but that's fine.
You
we
have
like
a
the
method.
team.
You want to follow your method.
Right.
You want to brand your method. You know what I mean? Like I'm a little. It's a little bit different where I want them to brand themselves. So it's all how you want it to be.
That's why I like the beauty industry is because there's so many different lanes you can go to.
So Local Luv opened up in 2020.
Yep, November 9, 2020.
Amazing. So your first year open, your personal salon won Delaware's best hair salon.
Crazy.
On top of the 7 awards you won previously at Salon by Dominic's.
As an individual hairstylist.
Yeah.
Crazy. I was not, especially that first year. I used to be really like gung-ho. Like you would see me promoting it, and not that I kind of, but you get distracted or whatever. Right. But that first year was such a whirlwind. I think we had promoted it maybe like a 2-week time span because I hadn't even realized it was going on.
Right.
Well, all I know is behind the scenes is all these people are voting for us, and I got the letter and I lost it.
You didn't even know.
I would have never thought it. No,
Crazy.
I would have never thought. It was the one year that I was like, didn't really mess with it. Oh well, like I didn't stress about it. I didn't think about it.
It wasn't a priority for you at that time.
When it showed up, I lost it.
It was meant to be.
It was awesome. It was so cool. But the people do that. They vote for you. So for them to take that time to go out of their way, because it's like a whole process to do that voting.
It is.
So I was like, wow, this is really cool. So, it was a cool experience. The party was a blast.
I was going to say, so what was the event like? Tell us.
It was a lot of fun. I will say, it's expensive.
Yeah.
It's expensive.
I know.
I'm not going to lie.
Girls just won in PA and they were like, it's a lot.
I mean, it's what you put into your business. So we went in there, we set it up, everybody gets their backdrop, your table, and you come up with like some sort of a theme. How do you want to present yourself to the public? So we had like our iPad there and you could book appointments, and we were giving out like a giveaway. We had like a gift basket, and all around you, it's just like drinks and party and fun, and everyone's in
high
pretty
energy,
high energy, and you go from business to business. You talk to so many business owners, you meet so many people. People come, they flow in, but we got a ton of business.
Really?
A ton.
That's an awesome opportunity.
We got a banner, and we hung the banner outside the salon, and every time where we sit on at the corner, I mean, you just drive by and you see it. It's like
perfect
the best
location.
promotion
Yes,
ever.
it's perfect.
But I will say, when you win that award, they think you're a fucking magician.
Oh my God.
I'm telling you what. And he'll be like, that's that best of
Yeah,
Delaware, Megan.
like, zap, zap, zap,
That's
zap.
what happens. They think that you can do miracles. So it's a good and it's a bad at the same time, because a lot of times I'll get people that sit down. I've been to like 8 hairdressers and I'm like, you saw that award, didn't you?
You did.
No, girl. You've been to 8 hairdressers because you're crazy. That's
Red
why.
flag, red
You're crazy.
flag.
No, but it has its good and its bad. But it was fun, I gotta say. And everybody can get out there and do it. Yeah. Everybody can get their business in the running. If your people love you, they'll vote.
Yep.
They'll vote.
Love
exactly.
it. Love it. And you're just going to keep going with it.
Oh, I'm going to keep
Every
going.
year?
Every year
you're going to go for it. So you got in a lot more business because of the award.
Definitely.
You brought in some crazies because of the award. Now, what about, did you deal with any kind of hate?
Any
other
haters?
salons?
Oh my God, girl. You know what we
chit-chat.
do. We absolutely do.
Right.
We don't have, I will say, if we have a lot of haters, I don't give a flying fuck.
Yeah,
as you should.
I really don't care, because I'm a big supporter of a lot of people in the industry. Yeah. So
you want to see everybody win.
I do want to see people win. I'm different than you, and we all come from different places, and how you live your life is how you live your life. And I don't get involved in that. But yeah, we have haters. We literally, I think our old salon literally wants to see us fall off the face of the planet. So I'm sure
crying.
that they all were not super thrilled with that. But yeah, you get all that.
Of course.
You get
it
all
comes
that.
with it.
I smile.
It does.
Yeah.
I was going to say, even probably
wave.
before, well, like even when the years that you didn't get the reward for Local Luv, People are still looking at you like, she thinks she's all that. Well, you are.
Yeah,
Dude,
that's the thing.
Other
whatever.
people don't want to see other people happy. It's crazy
I don't
to
get it though,
me.
because we all want to see everyone happy. So it's like, why? But that's the thing is, anyone that's winning is gonna want other people to win. Anyone that's losing is gonna look at the winners and judge them because they're mad that they're not in their place. It's pretty like black and white. In my opinion.
It's a them problem.
It's a them problem. I feel like I wouldn't even know if I had haters because I don't pay enough attention to even know. Like I don't even know.
That's true.
100% we have haters. 100% there's people listening to this right now that are haters.
Oh, I am sure.
But it's like I don't know. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head one person because I don't care to.
I am always everyone's biggest supporter. I will say we have a ton of salons that we are super close with. Our buddies at T Salon, they're our best buddies, and we do a lot with them. And they couldn't have been more supportive of our win. I love that. You know, my friends, we have friends at Studio One across the street at Homecastle. Kristen, she opened up her place. Love Kristen. She's been a humongous support system. Our friend Deb over at Aloe, she's been great. She's been a huge, like everybody, we connect very well. Yeah, we have you guys here. Like, you know, all the staff comes here and gets their lashes done. Like everybody has been, I'm big in that in my shop. I don't want that bullshit in my shop. If you want to talk shit about somebody, you walk outside the salon. Because I will fire someone for that. I don't want to hear it. I don't want haters in my shop. I love you out. I love to hear the haters outside, but please don't.
Give me the tea outside.
Not in the salon, not in here, not within the family. So our salon family is great. They're super supportive of everyone around them. So
I love. And that brings us kind of into our next
topic.
topic.
You are like naturally going into our next topics. I can't.
So we kind of want to talk about how you upkeep your vibe in the salon.
Oh, yeah. Well, how we upkeep the vibe. We all keep each other. It's a group effort on this one. I will say, if you know, as far as the aesthetic goes, if somebody thinks something needs to change, I'm really good at asking. Jamal will tell you. Don't let her ask you her opinion because she's going to not know whose opinion to pick at the end of this. Because I'll say, what do you guys want? And he'll go, no.
What do you want?
What do you want? But at the end of the day, so if something's aesthetically off, usually it's Jamal will tell me I need to do this. Or
he's your real one.
He is my real one. Or Christine keeps us really in check with today's gossip. So she is so good at the vibe in the shop. If we are if it's quiet in there, you'll hear her go, did you guys hear about Tom Sandoval? And then it'll be, and everybody will just start. It'll be one person, and it just will start from there. And then, you have Sean, she's super quiet in the back, and she likes to vibe with the music, and she'll, I'll put this music on, or that music on. P.S. I have to tell the world that we steal DeCourcy Beauty Lounge's playlist. It's on our salon phone. So, and it says DeCourcy Beauty Lounge playlist, the DBL playlist. So, and usually my front desk girl, Carolyn, she'll come to me and if there's older women in the salon, she'll be like, do you want the DBL playlist? So I'm like, yes, put it on.
Yes. Set the vibe.
So,
that's hilarious.
And this is, I will say, I'm going to tell the world that all my little candy ideas and shit, they come from here, guys. I didn't get any of those. I steal them from Bryn. I'll come in, I'll say, Miranda, where'd she get them from?
Where'd she get that?
The loyalty cards, guys, this one right here. The referral cards, this one right here. But it's a group effort. It's always a group effort when it comes to the vibe. And then as far as the social media aspect, that I do kind of obviously I just browse the internet and see what's going on.
Yeah,
out there
you get
as far
inspiration.
As the inspo goes and what it needs to be, just to stay up to date.
Yeah, that's you got to stay up to date in this industry too. It changes literally all the time.
Oh yeah.
Do you ever deal with gossip within clients? Something that on just top of my head example is coming in talking bad about other stylists that they've been to in the past, or do you ever deal with kind of that type of gossip?
You know what? We don't deal with that type of gossip.
That's good.
But I will tell you, the best time period me and Jamal ever had was when our barber Mark used to work for us when we first opened. So it was me, Jamal, and Mark used to sit on the end. I can't wait for Mark to see this podcast. He's going to die, and so is his wife, Mackenzie. She's going to laugh her butt off. But it was Mark came from a local Ellesmere barbershop that's been open for 1 million years. The guys are great. This it's called Untouchables down in Ellesmere. Chris Finch is the owner. And him and Chris worked together for years, parted ways. Mark came and worked at the shop when I first opened. He was part of the team in the beginning, and he's like the real deal barber. He's actually opened up a place downtown in Wilmington. He stayed with me for a year, and then he opened his own spot.
Okay.
But he had the most rawest of men come through my shop for the first year. And the stories, I cannot tell you. I will never forget the one time me and Jamal are working, and it's like my client, his client, and we're all like doing foils, and it's like 15 men in my shop, work boots, orange shirts, and I'm like, oh my God. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, I can't, I don't know if this is gonna work, this 5, there's all these men. This man comes walking in with a flat screen TV, puts it in the middle of my floor, and here, I'm not kidding, and Mark comes over and he's like, hey, and they're shooting the shit, and they're exchanging flat screen TVs inside the shop, and Jamal looked at me, he said, Megan, no,
they gotta go.
This cannot happen. We cannot have this here.
Oh my God.
So I cannot make it up. It was just he made it so much fun.
That's hilarious.
Mark was the best. He was so positive. He was so hello, my people, every day. He was great. But the shit that come through my door, I can't make it up. I cannot make it up. But the flat screen TV was it.
It was like a parallel universe. You're like, what? Am I seeing this correctly?
Is he buying a flat screen TV in the middle of the fucking salon floor right now? Yes, he is. Yep, he sure is. So,
that is good.
But yeah, but other than that, we don't get a
good.
lot of bullshit, especially about other hairdressers. Because like I told you earlier, if I hear
like,
it,
I'm gonna shut it down.
I don't want to hear it. Because 9 times out of 10,
Exactly.
when clients come in and bitch, they're bitching about something that's not valid.
Exactly.
It's just not
100%.
valid.
100%.
I don't want to hear, so-and-so's work. This isn't what I wanted. Yeah. She probably did everything that she could.
Yes.
That you didn't listen to her when she said she could only do this.
And they can only understand so much of what goes behind the scenes of a stylist.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
They can only
Like,
understand so much.
Shit happens.
Dude.
Right? Like,
Seriously.
It's hair.
shit happens.
I
Especially
have
with
only
hair,
so
because
much
it's so
control.
unpredictable.
Right.
Yeah, it's so unpredictable.
Exactly.
So yeah, whatever. What about, okay, on the flip side, have you had like a super, super crazy client that's just like, well, you already said yes.
Yeah.
Tell us like your craziest quick story, just anything like off the top of your head that's hilarious.
I have her blocked on social media, guys. Thank God I have her blocked on social media, guys.
Gonna get real.
I had, and it's so funny, and I can't wait for people to see this because they're all gonna know who I'm talking about, especially people that I used to work with. You know. This woman is in her 70s. I had her. She was my former boss's client.
Okay.
She had come to me. He didn't want to deal with her. So he said, go to Megan. She was from New Jersey. She had went to a salon in Jersey for 30 plus years. That's where her and her husband were from. Okay. So this shop has been open forever. She, spoke highly of this shop. And every time she sat in my chair, she would compare that shop to my experience. Extremely picky with her haircut, whatever. Loyal though. This woman was loyal. Took care of me. She did pay. She never complained. When my prices increased, you get a little bit of an earful, but she would, whatever. Yeah. Followed me to my house during COVID, everything.
That's when it gets tricky, is when they're like super loyal.
When they're super loyal, it's hard. Opened my shop, extremely supportive. Not really sure what happened along the way. I'm thinking that she has some whatever's going on with her at home. Yeah. So over time, she started to come to the shop, and she would come in the door and people would be like get really uptight because she would be so nasty, and we'd have to sit her over here, and she would make comments about your personal life, and then she started digging in at me in ways that were extremely inappropriate, as far as my skill or how I raised my daughter or my living situation or where I was at with my marriage or whatever.
We don't want her to go there.
Who are you dating? Whatever. So she did that for a while, and the problem was she would come to my client appreciation every year and dump thousands in gift cards. So I struggled with letting her go because I'm like, this bitch has fucking thousands in gift cards. Yeah. I'm not refunding that money.
It's almost like abusive, to be honest.
It's horrible.
It is toxic. That is toxic.
It's so toxic. So what I did was she ran out of her last gift card, and when the last gift card ran out is when she got real mean. real mean. She said, I'm not tipping you anymore. You're the owner.
gosh.
You know, I will pay this price. She only wanted to come on Tuesdays because at the time I had offered like a little 10% off for seniors on Tuesdays because I do have a lot of older women that come and see me. So she, you know, would complain about that. And if she wanted highlights and I charged her for them, she would freak the fuck out and say, you know what, I'm not doing this.
No.
And every time I would need to like, you know, my clients will book out. Some of them will book for the whole year because it's like I'm like 3 and 4 and 5 months booked out. So she'll book for the whole year. Say I'm calling her for a June appointment in January because my daughter has to go somewhere for dance or whatever. And she's throwing a whole fit. And I'm like, yo, I'm calling you 6 fucking months in advance to move your blow dry.
Literally.
Come
Don't
on.
be a bitch.
Come on.
So I end up, one day I was just like, that's it, I'm done.
Yeah.
I am done with
She
this
crossed the
woman.
line
I
so
can't
many
do it anymore.
times.
Yeah.
So I had Lacey. Lacey's my assistant, who is the best
Love Lacey.
ever.
Love Lacey.
Lacey's the reason why I found these guys. She is the best. But Lacey helped me write this fire your client letter.
Okay.
And I was like freaking out. I was like, don't send it. The whole salon was in on it. And they were like, you got to let this woman go. She's awful. She's awful. She's awful. So finally, it was like 2 days we didn't send it. Second day, Lacey was like, I'm sending it. We're sending it.
We're getting
We're
it over
done.
with.
We got to do it. We gotta
She's
do it.
going to come back and you're going to have to keep dealing with this.
Yeah.
So we sent the message. Oh my God.
I can't even. Oh no.
Dude.
I'm scared.
I'm scared too.
Well,
scared.
when she got the message, we sent it on Facebook Messenger and we sent a very professional message from
Yeah.
Local Luv.
Okay.
That's
So,
perfect.
and I did it very professionally.
Yeah.
If you could have heard the response I got. I mean, she cussed me up and down, called my salon D-class, I'm this, I'm that,
D-class?
I'm a horrible mother, went below the belt, said, I already have an appointment at Curry. I'm going there anyway. And I said, see you later, bye.
bye.
Okay,
Like-
so we thought that was the end of it. No, it didn't stop. It didn't
No.
stop because then she decided to email me on my personal email because I did not respond to her craziness. Because in the message, I sent her color formula too. Here's your color formula.
Yeah, so you don't have to
I
reach
don't
out
even
to me
have to
again.
reach
Like,
out
that's
about
it.
it.
We're done.
Go away.
Right.
She started harassing me on my email. She then decided to write again back on the Facebook Messenger telling me that her and the owner of Curry were pulling my numbers and this and that. So you know what I did? I called up Randy.
Yeah,
As
just
you
call up
should.
Randy.
As
Like,
you
what are you
should.
talking
I
about?
literally called him and I said, I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about this client. And he said, oh, I know exactly who you're talking about. He said, I gave her to the right person. He said, I'm not dealing with that.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, she didn't make it one appointment. But she was the most awful human I have ever encountered. I think it was the words more than anything. Like,
Yeah.
if I could, called me some nasty
I believe
shit.
it.
And
I
I was like, yo,
believe it.
you're like 75 years
That's
old.
the weirdest
Right.
thing
What the fuck is wrong
ever.
with
Like,
you?
No, literally.
So
Wow.
that was probably the craziest.
Yeah.
The craziest. But there's plenty more.
yeah, I was
going
gonna say we could have a whole episode
Whole
about
episode
the
on that.
crazies.
So many story times.
Yeah. Well, the last question we have in the kind of vicinity of like upkeeping the vibe in the salon is, how do you try to divide the line between like a boss and a friend? Because like we have that personality where like we're very young, friendly, nurturing. Like how do you find that you divide that line? Is it hard for you?
Yeah.
It's definitely hard.
It is
It's
hard.
like weird.
It's really, especially because when you're small, you really invest in your people. And, you know, I've really come a long way with that. And my staff will be the first ones to tell you, it's all about boundaries, you know, and it's about being honest with each other, I think mostly, and not sugarcoating stuff.
Yeah.
In the beginning, I was really bad on that. Like I had a really hard time with conflict. I didn't
wanna
want
hurt
to hurt people's
feelings or
feelings
step on
or
toes.
anything. And I gotta credit it to, I gotta give Jamal a lot of credit because he's very like, this is what it is.
That's your
You're
real
not
one.
getting anything less than what it is. And especially a lot of the people I started surrounding myself with too. I switched that up too. I
Outside of
realized
work?
outside of work.
Yeah, okay.
You know, you have to be careful hanging out with your staff outside of work on a different level. I became a little bit more careful with that just because you don't want to cross that line too much. And that was hard because in the beginning I was so
You love your
engulfed
people.
and like
Yeah,
hanging out and they
yeah.
loved it too. But I will say I've watched them evolve and they've all found their own lives and their own people. And say we don't have this
like
I don't codependency on each other
yeah.
at all. And I started surrounding myself with just some different people too. People kind of like going in the same direction, wanting the same things out of life, maybe as far as like hobbies go and all that good stuff.
That's important.
You know, I'm in a relationship, so that kind of keeps me in a different place in life, and you know, it keeps me grounded and focusing on my business, and I have my daughter. So it's just, you know, trying to make sure that you keep those boundaries. Yeah. You just keep those boundaries. But at the same time, I still let them know I care about you and I'm very much here for you. But at the end of the day, it's business. You're here to make money and you're here to go home. So you have to keep that fine line.
At the end of the day, it's business.
Yeah. It is business.
You always have to keep that in
mind. Definitely.
Always keep that in the back of your mind.
For sure.
Okay, so we talked a little bit earlier about being super kind of with the community. We like to support everyone. How do you differentiate between like competitors, allies? How do you know who's who and what's what?
I listen to how other people talk about other people.
100%.
I listen to how other people talk about other people. And let me tell you what, I love mostly everybody in this state, but there are some nasty little salon owners around this state. And it's really unfortunate because, and some of them I have worked with, and it's really unfortunate. And it's a personal problem. That's not a them problem.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you look around you and every hairstylist, just like every lash artist, is different.
Absolutely.
So why are you so butthurt over so-and-so's work over here when you're doing something completely different?
Constantly
over here?
comparing.
What do you
comparing?
You know,
Yes.
and it baffles me how butthurt some of these salon owners get when other people, I guess, when they say mimic or copycat.
It's like,
first of all, it's everybody's doing the same damn thing.
Where did you get that idea from?
You have to be honest.
Like everyone got something from someone else.
You are not original.
Unless you're like inventing a full formulated product that's never been done before, like nobody's the original.
All of this is all rotated stuff.
100%.
This is recycled material.
100%.
It is.
Change the font. That's it.
Everybody is inspired by everybody.
Yeah,
so
I don't like that either.
That pisses me off.
I hate that.
I can't stand it. But when I hear, I know, I listen.
Yeah.
And if I hear nasty, I'm like, you can stay right over there.
You can go right over
As
there.
you should.
You can go to there.
And then it's funny because those type of salon owners, they breed their hairdressers like that.
Ooh.
So it'll be like the whole salon.
It's the environment.
Like that.
And then you'll have girls from the salon getting in on like what? Like
Why
what's
are
going
you
on?
teaching
That's
them to be like
what
that?
is going on?
I will tell you, that was the biggest difference when I went to go find a salon for lashing. So I went to a salon in Newark and I had an interview with the owner and she took me around the salon and it was just, the vibe was just like
No
tight.
one was
You could feel
welcoming.
it.
I could feel it.
Yeah.
Nobody was welcoming. Everybody was giving me like a side eye. And I'm like, I can tell that
Who
this
would not
owner
love
breeds
you?
them this way.
Who would
I'm
not
not,
love her for
I
real?
do not want to work for a woman that allows her employees to kind of just like, the stiffness was just like, it was so, it was just too much. And then as soon as I meet you, we clicked.
Yeah,
it was great. The
instantly.
vibe was
Instantly.
amazing.
Instantly.
Like you and Maria.
There was no doubt.
Yeah, it was just, the vibe was just so different.
Yeah, and it's really important to find a place that you want. Like, there's some people also that might not want a community. They might like want to just kind of go in, do their thing, and like leave. But like here, it was like we want it to be.
We want a team. We want a family.
team,
Just
family.
like you,
Yes. Yep.
So back to the question, how important do you think it is to have those relationships with those other salon owners? Like, do you think it's huge? Okay.
Huge.
Like, you can't just like isolate yourself and do your own thing.
I feel like you
have
can.
that community in a certain extent.
But it is so important because we throw clients at each other. Like, we keep our price ranges within the same. We keep our policies within the same. So that way we can all maintain, like, nobody's salon hopping and trying to fuck anybody over like that. And like trying to stir the pot here in our little small ass state because everybody's going in the same direction with these lived in colors and things like that. And these really long color appointments and such. So we all kind of,
The trends are the same.
The trends are the same. So if you stay connected and you never know when you will need help from someone. Like, you just don't know, dude.
Even like reaching out about like business stuff.
That's what I'm
like,
saying.
Like, it just sucks that sometimes you feel like you can't just directly reach out to an owner that you don't know and they'll just help you. Like there's so much weirdness in that.
Yeah,
that like
there's still a lot of gatekeeping.
Yeah, a lot of gatekeeping.
With aesthetics.
A lot of gatekeeping. And I
especially with aesthetics, it's way different than hair. They're tighter lipped than anything.
Like I just don't. I want to say I get it, but I don't really get it because I'll tell anyone like all of the products we use. Literally, I'll tell you like I don't care. You know.
I think a lot of times through some of these owners, they go through these programs that are super expensive, so they'll you reach out for help and they get very offended. They're like,
well, I paid for
this advice. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my fucking God, whatever. All right, cool. It costs no money to give some advice.
Exactly,
just share a little bit. You'll feel good.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're not going to lose anything from it. Because at the end of the day, you could be doing the same exact tactic and strategy as somebody else, but nobody's doing it like you.
Right.
Yeah. You
exactly.
have your individuality. That's
absolutely
the most important. I think that's, as just a person, you just got to be your own individual person.
Put your own imprint on it.
Exactly.
Exactly. You are highly connected with other salon owners, obviously. You are really involved with your clients. You're really involved with your now booth renters and your coworkers and everything. So how do you feel, this is more kind of giving advice to the listeners, how do you feel is the best way to kind of gain respect and a reputation in your industry?
Ooh, it's what you put out there. Yeah. It is what you put out there. And I will tell you from a personal experience from somebody that has put too much and not put enough.
Right.
Because that is something that you social media, and it's all social media based too. I mean, it's obviously what you see in person. When you come into the salon and when you run into me in public, it all is what you see in person. So it's personal experience, first of all.
Yeah.
Second of all, it's what people are portraying now on social media, because that's where you get the most visual.
Yeah.
That's where you're seeing, and it's social media. I preach it all the time. It's not real because I can put whatever I choose. It's a persona. It's a whole entity in itself. And I have this, and we could go on. I would literally go down left field with this topic because we'll do another episode later. But at the end of the day, at one point I put everything out there, like my whole family, my life, and all that was exposed, and that's how I got connected, and that's how I would really bring in the most clientele, because people, when they visually see something that's wholesome and good and thriving, they're attracted to it.
And they relate to it.
They relate to it.
Yeah.
So, and, I was constantly promoting on social media, but then when I became an owner and things changed, you have to really think about you're being an example now.
Yes, you're the face of your brand.
So what would I want my children to see? What would I want my family to see? What would I want at my clients, Jamal's clients, everyone's clients to see, other salon owners to see? And at the end of the day, it became not a free-for-all anymore. It became not a free-for-all. You have to protect yourself, your peace, your family, maybe not so much exposure, but still make sure you're staying connected to your people, your clients, and everything. Give them enough. Give them a little bit of your personal, a little bit of your business. Show them what's behind the scenes. Show them what's not behind the scenes. Show behind the scenes.
Yes, absolutely, because that is how people are going to feel relatable to you and connect with you that way too. You're not just a salon owner. You're a million other things. You're a mom. You're a friend. You're a daughter,
Yeah, but also setting that boundary of not doing too much, not showing
careful,
too much, not
true.
Because we talked about that before. You are your brand, and people, if you're out in public acting crazy,
you can watch your words, watch what you type on social media. I am very cautious about. I got to really think about my motive before I verbalize something with certain situations. Like, oh shit, this could really be against me at some point. So,
and watch how you treat people too.
Absolutely.
Don't disrespect people. Because we're in the name of building people up and making them feel beautiful. So don't be out here
ripping people down. Don't be doing that either.
Yes. Well, do you have any? This is a good one. I was excited to ask you. Do you have any unpopular opinions about the beauty industry, things that might be hot takes and something that someone might not necessarily fully agree with, or might be a debate?
This whole not washing your hair shit. I've had enough. Okay. I cannot.
Wait, what is, so some people.
So give us an example.
I don't know what's happened to the world, but nobody wants to wash their hair anymore.
Like, and it stinks.
It stinks. My
Your hair
blondes
stinks.
complain that they're brassy. Their scalps are itchy.
Right.
Have you guys not seen this trickle effect of like scalp treatments?
Yes.
Okay, so this is why, because nobody washes their hair anymore, and they think, oh my God, my hair's going to stay healthy because I'm not washing. Okay, look. I get it. It's the extension era. That's why. That's what's done it. And I'm not an extension specialist, but Jamal is, and he'll be the first one to tell you they're a bitch to blow dry. They're a lot of work, so they don't wash their hair.
Yeah.
So everyone's all like, don't wash your hair, get dry shampoo. I tell my clients, day 3, you better wash that shit. You better wash it. You better use a hair cleansing. You better, whatever you need to do, but you need to use a clarifier. You need to use your purple. You need to do a treatment on it. You need to use your K18. You need to do all that. Because it's really important to keep your scalp clean. It's how your blondes stay brighter. It's how your hair stays healthier. It needs that. So for anyone to think I can go a week and my hair's going to stay healthier and great,
You're crazy.
you're nuts. Come
I
to the
feel
salon,
like
I'll give you
it's-
scalp
You're
treatment.
crazy and you're dirty.
Right, literally. So stop thinking that it's okay. Wash your hair.
That's so
God.
Okay, so our last question we have for you to close it off is, do you have any tips for beauty entrepreneurs, whether it be estheticians, cosmetologists, whatever, looking to be where you are, looking for a little word of advice, like how can I get to where you are? I know we already talked about individuality, but any like overall tips that you could sign off with?
Grind. Have a grind personality and a grind work ethic. Your work ethic has to be, I can't stop. I can't stop. It's a never-ending stop. There's no excuses. I don't care how sick your kid, like it's a never-ending grind. Like you really have to put everything that you have into it with no excuse, because I'll hear it all the time, like, oh, I really want to be where you are, but then you'll tell me all the excuses why you can't. No. Turn all those excuses, speak it into fruition. I will say, my boyfriend tells me all the time, you have to speak it for it to happen. If you're telling me it's not, then it's not.
The power of the tongue is real.
I'm telling you, but you got to grind and really speak it into fruition. And I'm telling you, you can have nothing and it will happen. I swear to God. I promise, because I've seen it. I have seen it firsthand. So if there's anything, that's the best advice I could give.
Right.
Yep.
It's anyone can do it.
Anybody.
Anyone can do it.
Anybody. It's all in the mind.
It's all in the mind and the drive and the passion behind it.
Yep.
Like you have the deep passion behind it. We have the passion behind it. If you don't have the passion for the beauty industry, maybe don't go into the beauty industry.
Jump ship.
Maybe go
jump
somewhere
out
else.
now,
right,
please,
right.
because you will get swallowed whole.
It's not just a quick money grab. You know, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah, we're very big into manifestation here.
I love
Speaking
it.
into existence, doing the vision boards, like being able to visualize exactly what you want out of your career. Even down to, we do this exercise of writing down our ideal client. Who do we want to attract here? What do they wear? What do they do for a living? How much do they tip?
Right.
Like everything like that. Just
that's awesome.
putting
You
it
guys
into
have that
existence.
downstairs in the classroom, right? You have like your vision board and everything, or do you have one at home?
We have individual ones.
You have one at home. We had
home,
talked about that. Well, you inspired me.
We did them here for a little.
I got one.
We did
really good.
I ended up getting one after you had told me that. We got one at the house, so I have one. My boyfriend has one. My daughter Mila has one. My daughter Nicole.
That's awesome.
So everybody writes their goals, and it's a big dry erase board in the living room right now.
That's
So
amazing.
it's cool. It's really cool.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
And it works. And
It
the
works.
reason we like it is because then you can go back and look at it and be like, wow, I really did that.
I really did that.
Give yourself your flowers.
Yay.
Okay, well, thank you, Megan. This was so
Thank
good.
you.
Yes.
This is so fun.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you came. This was so much fun. And we always close off with a little affirmation card pull.
Just so we can
love this. We love this.
Just
We are
so
gonna have you pull.
Start our day with a thought in our minds and just how we want to perceive our day.
Set the vibe.
Something
Set
in
the
our
vibe.
mind. So I'm gonna allow you to do the honors
All
of
right, cool.
drawing
Here we go.
it. Whatever speaks to you. Okay.
Look at it or don't look
Go
at it.
ahead. Look at it. What does she say?
Oh.
What do we got?
Oh my God, this is awesome. Are you ready for this? Okay.
Yeah.
I do not have to prove myself to anyone but myself.
And that was such a big theme here.
This is a good one.
I love it.
That's a good one.
It was meant for you.
It was great, guys.
That's a perfect Perfect way to end it.
Awesome.
So before we go, we're going to have you give all of your social media, plug anything you want to plug.
Oh God! Well, thank you guys for this. I really appreciate.
This was
everything.
so fun.
I
We
had
appreciate
a blast.
you.
I really do. But please come check us out. We are at 1243 Old Lancaster Pike, right on the corner, Local Luv Salon, and you can check us out on Instagram at Local Luv Salon, and you can come follow me at Barbie and Reckon. We would love you for that, and follow all my staff too, please.
I love it.
y'all.
That was good.
Yeah, you can follow me. My business is at MKM Beauty Bar. My personal is at amor.amira.
And my Instagram is at DeCourcy Beauty, at DeCourcy Beauty Lounge. And then we recently made a Esty Besties podcast.
You guys gotta follow.
Instagram
It's so
and
good.
TikTok.
Follow
Instagram
that.
and TikTok.
Yep, Instagram and TikTok. Follow us on there. We're going to be posting little sneak peeks, little clips, all that good stuff.
Yep, all the good content.
So follow all of us right now, subscribe, and make sure you guys turn your auto downloads on as well for our new episodes to come.
Yep.
Love you. Hope you
Bye, guys.